It's time. As you can tell, this is Rashid Hill, and we are going live. We have an opportunity tonight. We have a great opportunity tonight to go live on YouTube as well as Facebook. And as you can tell, I'm using StreamYard, trying out a new platform for my new business and e-learning platform, which is Next Era Learning LLC. This is an edutech company that is focused on personalized and adaptive learning, which gets the best out of our students and our audience and anyone that is a lifelong learner. As you know, this is something that I'm very passionate about, and tonight we're going to dive into kind of the first course that I am building for my Center of Learning. That would be Center of E-Learning or Micro-Learning, using the micro-learning or micro-lesson platform for micro-lessons, micro-learning, and mobile learning, which is really the term that fits the most, because the courses will be built in a way that it's easy for someone on the go, busy, that has things to do, to get this education and keep up with the technology and what we know as the next era of learning. And so, without further ado, let's kick this off with an incredible opportunity for my audience to learn about the digital acceleration. So I call it digital acceleration because the fourth industrial revolution, if you watch any of my videos, you know that I'm very passionate about the future of work, future of learning, future of education. And the fourth industrial revolution has brought about a level of technology and awareness of technology and smart technologies and emergent technologies that we all should be very engaged in what's going on around us. One of the books that brought this to light for me was the book by Andrew Yang. He was a presidential candidate just recently, and he talked about in his book the war on normal people, which is very interesting. It's very great. You definitely should read it. The War on Normal People, and it talks about the effects of the fourth industrial revolution. And what I say is most people, they really don't even know that they're in it, because you just see technology and automation and robotic processes as if it's just part of the day. It's just part of a company or part of a business upgrading their infrastructure to meet some of the times that we're in. We've had the first industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, third and fourth industrial revolutions. And we know that there's a response to these revolutions, which in a paper that I wrote recently called The Evolution of Our Future, the Fifth Digital Reaction. And I recommend that you get a copy of that. And you can go to my website, and I'll talk about that a little later, but you can definitely get a copy of the research paper or white paper that I completed recently about the evolution of our future, or the reaction, the fifth digital reaction to the fourth industrial revolution. So without further ado, I would like for you to join me in an introduction or orientation to the first course of our digital acceleration, which is New Tech, New Skills, Your Power. And that's how we want to kick it off. So let's go. Digital acceleration. What is it all about? Why are we talking about a digital acceleration? Well, when I look around, when I see what's going on in the world today, then I love to dive into these emerging technologies. You know, a few years back, I got introduced to digital technology, digital currency, and the like. And if you know anything about digital currency, you know that it fluctuates. You know that it can be used as a store of wealth, and it has its benefits. But one of the things that we know, it is very volatile. And it doesn't necessarily move with the stock market or the other markets, but what it does go up and down a lot. And so I said, wait a minute, what do I do? How do I represent the emerging technology of blockchain, right, in this particular arena? And so I started to do research and looking at what Bitcoin or Ethereum or, Litecoin, Ripple, um, and just the multitude of cryptocurrencies. I had to step back and say, what is consistent about cryptocurrency? And it boiled down to distributed ledger technology. This could be in the form of blockchain. And so I focused on blockchain and started to really understand the power of a distributed ledger. And when I understood that a little better, and definitely not an expert on it, but I definitely understood that this is a focus of mine. This is where I want to get certified so that I can be that go-to person for understanding not the cryptocurrency, not the digital asset, not the utility or the security token. It's about what is consistent, that's holding it all together. And that distributed ledger technology is what is beyond cryptocurrency. It's beyond cryptography. It's beyond that one form of currency. It is literally what drives the future of emerging technologies. You can get into all types of technologies, but at the end of the day, when you want to secure your chain, supply chain, or chain of custody, or chain of titles, property chains, if you want to secure it, you use blockchain. If you want access to it, you use blockchain. If you want it to be streamlined, if you want it to be secure, if you want it to be efficient, then blockchain is the way to go. So now blockchain as a business or for business is another avenue that needs to be highlighted and needs to be discussed so that more companies, more institutions will understand the value that blockchain brings to the table. Therefore, we end up in the place we are today, the digital acceleration course. My new education series, this is Learning 2.0. The fourth industrial revolution. Today, we're going to talk about new tech, new skills, your power. I've had this question numerous times. Are robots going to take my job? The short answer is no, and we'll discuss that as we go. So how will it change our future? So introducing the industrial revolutions. Like I said, we had the first industrial revolution, the steam engine. We're talking about steam power, and when you had choo-choo trains, you could watch old movies in black and white, and you always see some of the comedic displays on the train, and they did a lot of acrobatics and things like that to make people laugh, because the steam engine and the steam power was something that revolutionized the 1800s. And then in the second revolution we have electricity, mass production, mass electrical energy. So they harnessed the power of electricity, and it started to really grow and flourish. And so we moved up a little bit in the world. Then you come with the third revolution or industrial revolution in the 1900s, computing. We're talking about computers and electronics. I mean, think about the first mobile phone. Think about the first computer that you had. Think about just games in general. When you're talking Commodore, when you're talking Sega, you're talking about Atari. These are things that were revolutionized in the 1900s, all the way up till 1990 to 2000s. And when you get into, and some people say around 1976 or 1986 timeframe in England, that's when the fourth industrial revolution kicked off. We get into, what we call streaming. We get into what you call subscription-based models for podcasts and broadcast. And before there was the video blog or vlog, there was the podcast. And you could listen to the radio, or you can listen to somebody talking about their knowledge, talking about what they would put in an ebook that we see now. These were things that were prior to the fourth industrial revolution. But when the fourth industrial revolution came along, now you have the AI, the IoT, now you have big data, now you have the augmented reality and edge computing. It just gets, it's evolving, evolving, evolving. And so I would say um, at least 30% of the activities associated with the majority of occupations in the US could be automated, which includes even knowledge tasks that were previously thought to be safe. Now, this is according to a McKinsey Global Institute report. And this echoes what executives see as well. And there's a guy named Rick Jensen. He's a chief talent officer at Intuit, and he says the workforce is changing massively. So in the following slides, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's expected in our future. It's really going to be focused on what is the ideal occupation, or what is the occupation that will survive throughout this industrial revolution that we're in. So I think that's important for us to focus on, and this is our focus for today. Gen Z, millennials, Gen 2020 and beyond, even the generation that's kindergarten now, by 2030, they'll be ungraduated and they will be in the job market. So what is our focus? Do we focus on baby boomers, or do we focus on making sure that we're nurturing and providing the right type of knowledge and technology and learning avenues for that generation that's coming after Gen 2020? That new generation, Gen 2030, will be the ones that are using and being in position to grow the economy in the new era that's on its way. Within an organization, positions will be more fluid, and a strict organizational chart will likely be tossed out in favor of more project-based teams. So social and collaboration is really what's driving the appeal for Generation Z and beyond. In this generation, some people say that 75% of Generation Z employees would be interested in having multiple roles in one place of employment. So I think that's interesting, because other reports talk about Gen Z and millennials and beyond. They're more social, more collaborative. And with that being said, they focus on the social aspects, which most people use their mobile or smartphones in order to stay engaged, stay connected. And so that collaboration just comes along with that particular medium of exchange. And with that, you would notice that they may be on their phone, but when, as a baby boomer, when you're in the workplace, you want people to put their phones down and get to work. Well, guess what happens now? That Gen Z or millennial, they come in intelligent, like off the chart smart, but they're holding their phone all day. They're on their phones all the time. And with that being said, they're actually collaborating in their own way. So what we as managers or owners of business, and if you have an employee